Welcome back, Masha, to your second coaching session. What we talked about a bit the last time was creating some sort of mission statement around what your work is with NarrateMD. And I have to say, madam, you have been on the move in 2 weeks. For the folks who are going to see this, Masha has created a positioning statement, her ideal client profile, very active on social media, advertising the business and the services, and she just took off like a rocket. So fantastic. You have moved into what is called the Envision and Execute component of the Four Corners Blueprint, which is my framework for coaching high performance leaders. And right on time, I'm so happy. So we shall get started. You let me know that you had, like I said, you had created the positioning statement. You've also taken a look at your information now, what you're building towards, the types of services you'd like to offer, in Q2 of this year, and what you need out of your envisioning and your execution is feedback on your positioning statement and outreach guidance. So I'm going to shut up for a moment and tell me what's on your mind.
Um,
Mhm.
basically what I have to do next is I need to create like a one sheet to send
Okay.
out to targeted like clients. And so that's the main thing right now because once after our first session, I narrowed down that Narrate MD would be like the flagship, like, the
Yeah.
one entity that I start with. And so when I actually went through it and broke it down some, I'm like, okay, well, I first need to clean it up, organize it, which I did. And now I'm like, I need to look at my offerings
Mhm.
and to look and see if I have any blind spots there. And then identify clients. I identified it in the document I sent you as well. But
Yes.
I guess it's mainly like any blind spots. That's what I'm thinking. Because I was like, even if I'm not able to do like a full-fledged panel, I am even open to like events where I can speak and maybe do like a mini panel. I don't know. So
Mhm.
that's something I may add to this document I sent. But I'm pretty flexible for feedback or anything like that.
Based on what you've provided me in your documentation, what I did was screenshot your positioning statement and what problem Narrate MD solved. So we have the positioning statement. Narrate MD is a panel facilitation and narrative architecture methodology that closes the gap between scientific expertise and human understanding. We don't just moderate panels, we architect the conversation. Science doesn't feel foreign because it's complicated. It feels foreign because nobody built the story container to hold it. Narrate MD builds that container. My first question to you is walk me through the development of the positioning statement. I asked that question because there will come a time someone else is going to ask you.
Oh yeah, sure. When you
Yeah.
make a film, you have a hero, you have a goal, you have an obstacle. A lot of times with panels, and I've been a panelist and I've been in the audience. A lot of times they lose their way because they're not structuring the entire experience as a story. It's simply a story. And it's like they might have the hero, which would be like the panelist, but it's like no objective, no obstacle. And so that's where I come in with my background. And so I'm basically going to architect the actual story that the organization or panel want to tell. What do they want their audience to walk away with? Because a lot of times people walk away with whatever. It's not really like clear. So that's basically what I do. But the
Okay.
niche is only science based organizations overall. I'm not interested in any other industry.
That sounds like your one sheet.
Hmm.
And that kind of dovetails into the problem that NarrateMD solves. The narrative architecture was never built. His people throw a panel together and let it fly. And you said it, the audience doesn't walk away. I'm kind of taking your words
Yeah.
with some liberties, but they don't walk away with value.
Mhm. And they, a
Or
lot of times, they don't even know what like they're supposed to walk away. Because, like, say for instance, like a celebrated panelist, right? They're gonna
Mhm.
want like, they're there from like a fandom perspective, but it's not more so like what is the action you want them to take? What do you want them to walk away with? What is the message? So
Now, you asked me the question in your document, you wanted my feedback, but what's your feedback?
my feedback is I love it because I actually learned a lot about it when I was a panelist. When was that? What's this month? Last month. And
Mhm.
so when I was on a panel, they brought me in because of my expertise. But when I got there, it was like, what's the goal, whatever. And even though the panelists have all met on Zoom, we all knew that it was like a panel dealing with scientists, healthcare practitioners, and storytellers. There was no story. And so, I
Mhm.
mean, a lot of people started following me after the panel, but they were kind of like, what was I supposed to learn from that panel? So that really helped me
Mhm.
out with this offering because like I said, I've been panelist before. My As a panelist, my goal is never to kind of see what people take away from it. It's like I'm just there because somebody hired me to be on the panel or brought me in. And so now I'm like on the other side, like kind of designing the panel for people that have no clue what storytelling is. So
Right. So you're the hero of this story.
the business part, yeah. Yeah, and so my whole thing is I'm a big proponent in having like some kind of prototype to show people. And so for Narrate MD, I don't have a panel that's recorded for people. Cause I mean like I can always like pitch them stuff that I've done before, but I don't actually have like an actual recorded current panel. And so that's why I mentioned like maybe I can do like I gotta go back to the drawing board with that one, but I'm like maybe like a mini panel or something where I'm like explaining what I do to potential people that will buy my services. I mean, like I'm in North Carolina right now, so it may be as simple as going to the medical schools where I know people, and I'm like, hey. Can I get in on like a workshop? I see you all have a workshop. Is there any way that I could present Narrate MD? And it's not and like just be on the what is it, be on the agenda for like a public meeting or a community meeting or a staff meeting, right? So then if I get that recorded, is something I can use to be part of the portfolio when I'm actually selling the service.
Fantastic idea. And is it a heavy lift for you? Because since you're in North Carolina, what is that? The Research Triangle?
Okay, so we have Wake Forest, which is in my
Hmm.
hometown, Winston-Salem. We have Duke, and then we have Chapel Hill, and I think that's it for medical schools here. So
Okay.
it might be
So
more, but those are like the top ones here. Yeah.
you have your ideal client
Yeah,
at your
because
doorstep, essentially.
I used to work for Duke Medical School. So I can send an email to them because basically I just need something where is showing me do like a micro panel or something because like again I can have like my friends or associates on Zoom, but I feel like I need to do something in person because that's what the job entails, so
Yeah. The recording component,
I
which
could do
is we Yeah, we live in a world where that is very important. If it isn't recorded, did it happen? Perhaps. Are you Do you have a strategy for that, or are you leaving it up to the event coordinator?
Well, okay, so it depends on what kind of situation I find myself in. When I worked for Duke Medical School before, I was in their training program, right? And so it's a man named Dan that's over the program. I literally will just follow up with him and tell him about this business and tell him that I would love to get on any of their agendas for training. And
Hmm.
so he can say yes or no, but then I will come up with the plan and give it to him. And we can talk about compromising, a
Okay.
micro panel, but he probably will want to do it on Zoom now that I'm thinking about it. He probably's like, you only have to come all the way up here to do it. But yeah, that's what I would do is I would need to have a standard letter though before
Okay.
I approach people like him.
What about a photographer?
I would need that.
Do you have
But
connections for someone?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like I always have photographers, cinematographers, videographers. Um, but I could do it on Zoom too. Like, I mean, it doesn't, now that I'm thinking about it, because I
Mhm.
remember when I worked for them, sometimes we had in-person sessions, but then sometimes we had Zoom sessions. So,
Mhm.
and this was as in their training program for their residents. And I just had to train them because they were having issues with diversity. Like their doctors were not dealing with like marginalized communities properly. And so I had to
Mhm.
like be like, I don't want to call it a DEI whisperer, but it's like I was like helping them, like coaching them on how to talk to their patients. And so that's what I'm just thinking like that would be the quickest turnaround. And if I wanted to get something, what does that say? Like something easy to have as a part of something I could show to pitch people.
So you have the beginnings of a strategy in order to get into these rooms to be able to get your recorded content, but a mix of content is viable option. Tell me about the other medical institutions that are close to you, because I picked up on up there or wherever you have to go, which
It's
I'm
really
assuming is
three.
north.
Yes, I have to go north. It's Wake Forest, Duke, and Chapel Hill.
How about closer to you?
It's no medical schools.
Okay. Hospitals, is that an option?
It is an option. It will be I think it might I mean, I don't know. Cause I'm like, I know like it's hard to pitch to like public facilities. The only reason I was thinking of the Duke training, because they don't have to, how can I say it? I know the decision maker at that one. But I mean, I could see that's an option though. I
Mhm.
could do that. Because like I'm located closest to Charlotte, and
Mhm.
they have a lot of hospitals here. So I would have to see. I guess I would go through like the training and education department. I'm not sure, but that's something I
Mhm.
could think of. And my aunt, look, now that I'm talking, my aunt is over not the medical school, but the nursing department at a school
Mm.
near here. Mine is
You
over
ha
a nursing department at it's a HBCU, Wisdom State University, and
Yeah.
so I know she'll be game.
Don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting in order to make something like that happen.
Mhm.
You've got the connect. And the big three that are up north, you also have your local hospitals and medical organizations as well. That
Mhm.
that may be a very rich training ground for you to get
Yep.
your reel to be able to present that to other organizations as well. The pricing, I'm going to turn this off.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see. I want to close the whiteboard. So I'm looking at your line items: panel
Mhm.
pipeline, card deck sales, body celestial,
Mhm.
and you have a line item that says raise rate. So apparently a trigger has to happen in order for the rates to be
Yes.
raised. Okay, all right. So the panel pipeline,
Yeah.
is it okay for me to say numbers?
Yeah.
Have outreach to 10 conference directors, follow up every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
First booking converts at 3,500 to 5 grand. Your target is 1 to 2 confirmed engagements. Justification for this fee. This is not me saying it's good or
Yeah.
bad. It's just you're going to have to answer that question.
Yeah. Well, my rate, just so you know, my rates are low because they
Mhm.
normally are higher. And the only reason I know that is when I did a play at Wake Forest. They call them honorariums, and they start
Mhm.
out if I think it's 10,000. And so I was like, this is more so like a panel. And so, but that's how I did it. I actually looked at different schools
Mhm.
to justify it.
Okay. And is it the 35 to 5,000 because you're coming into this space
It's
sort
new.
of new?
Yes. Because I don't
How-
have how can I say this? I don't have a body of work for this particular
Mm.
project. Like I said, I don't have a panel done. And so that's why I'm like, I need to have confidence with having facilitated or, curated a panel, and then I can go to the rates that they're offering.
This is your training wheels rate.
hmm
Okay. Question. How many panels would you have to do? And I think you may have alluded to it in your document for you to say, okay, I have enough experience under my belt. Time to raise the rates.
3.
3. Okay. Because you'll have all the recorded versions of your event. And I ask because you are very, very well known in your field. You have a lot of experience in the media world, in the film world. So I wanted to make sure that you're taking into consideration all of that when you put the prices down, the introductory rate, so to speak. Okay.
That's a good point. Yeah, because like the reason why I was doing low is because I wanted to be a little flexible because I know I think it was like 3 years now when I did that project at Wake Forest, they paid me like I think it was like 5,000. And so they paid it from two different medical departments. And so from that experience, I'm like, okay. So basically, a lot of times you set your price because I went in there thinking 3,000. They were like, oh no. We can do five, but we got to split it up between the different departments and their budgets. So then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm seeing that I lowballed myself that time. But now
Mm,
I see like the kind of how can I say it? I can see the different rates. And like a
okay.
girl after me who's done multiple events, she got 30,000. But she has a whole I looked at her website. She had like all her stuff edited and everything. And I was like, well, she can demand that. So
Mhm.
that's why I was like, let me start off small because I do have to have a learning curve, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're comfortable with it, but you know that as you gain your experience, there will come a time where the prices will need to
Yep.
adjust according
hmm
to your experience and what you have to offer. The next line item, card deck sales, action. List NarrateMD screens the story deck as a digital download. Post to Global X Culture weekly for everyone who's watching. That's her IG handle for her business. And then add to website. You also have first sales by mid-April. Tell me more about the card deck.
So it's a trivial card deck based on media and science, and it's to kind of open up people's eyes to every aspect of healthcare and medicine in the media. And so I was just like, I created them already, and it's a trivia card deck, and I was going to sell it to
Who are you marketing the card deck to?
people that will attend the panels.
Anybody else or anybody's else?
I mean, like I can sell them in stores. you know, I could probably sell them in like medical school bookstores. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's just something fun. Cause I mean, I have it on my phone. Give me one second. Here's the story deck, and like the first, and it has instructions. But like the first question is, which medical TV show was the first to popularize the idea of doctors as flawed, morally complex protagonists rather than flawless heroes? And so it allows like it's like a conversation starter for people to understand. Like a lot of us watch a lot of shows or films with medical through lines or healthcare through lines or science like astrophysics
Mm-hmm.
or cosmology. And so it's just a trivia card deck. And I was just like, I can
Mm-hmm.
give it as a gift to audiences, but I have to add that as a added fee, for the bottom
Right.
line, whatever, or
Uh-huh.
just a gift set. So, because like each card it has a through line, like everything dealing with the sciences.
Line item that is a money generator for Narrate MD. And I liked how you talked out where else it could be advertised, marketed, bookstores, medical schools, that type of thing. Just keep that in mind as you move forward with it. So just don't keep it to conferences. It's a
Mhm.
wide world. It's a lot of medical schools, a lot of
I know.
pre-meds.
No, I
Oh,
know. And it's like, I mean, like I like even if I wasn't like the person that created it, I would want it because I think a lot of times when at least when I created last year, I was like, there's a lot of like media that has the
mhm.
through line of medicine. But a lot of like I mentioned, a lot of times we think we're so not connected to medicine because we're not like a physician or, in that arena. But it's like, no, all of us got a doctor. All of us
Hmm.
are connected to medicine too.
And you have your first sales by mid-April. April. Have you started advertising the card deck yet?
Not yet. Mm-mm. I just
Not yet.
had it
Okay.
like I literally sent them to get made. I sent them in February. So I'm still
Okay.
waiting for the card decks. Hmm.
Okay. And you are making the determination that those cards will be in your hands by mid-April. Okay.
They should be here next week, but I have to,
Mhm.
well, I get the prototype, right? So it's like if something's
Mhm.
wrong, I might have to take it back or whatever. So
Yes.
that's why I was like, let me give myself some room.
Now we haven't talked money. How much do you plan to charge?
I do not know yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I went doing some research in Barnes and Nobles because they have a whole section of trivia cards and they were so expensive and I'm like, I don't know. But it was
What
like
was
$50.
expensive? Oh,
$50.
$50?
I thought 50 was a lot for trivial cards, right? But
Uh-huh.
I like the packaging of the different cards. I noticed that a lot of them don't have a subject matter. It was literally like just life questions or whatever. But I went in Barnes and Nobles. I went into this coffee shop that had trivia cards and this museum. And so I was
Mhm.
like, I just went to three places and I'm like, if I could, I'm gonna see how the cards turn out when I get them this time. But I was like, if I could get them professionally made, I will contact, different places because we have here a science planetarium.
Hmm.
It's different places that potentially could sell them. But I would love to get these trivial decks like out.
Okay.
Hmm.
So after you saw the going rate for these types of products for $50, let's just use that number, and your reaction was like, "Huh,
Yeah,
what
I
do
thought it
you,
would be like $10, $15. It was 49.99.
did it cost you $10 to get the prototype?
It didn't cost a lot. Like, I
Did
mean,
it cost you $10?
no, it did not cost me
Okay.
$10. It cost
Okay.
me like, because I only got made for our book club, one of my friends and myself, because I was like, I want a card deck. It was like
Hmm.
200. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, all
So,
right, so as you talk this out, you're seeing why those
yeah,
cards cost $50. Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It got to cover the cost and make a profit on it.
Yep.
So I say that to say keep that in mind when you finally price these cards. They don't need to be $10.
especially with the audience that'll buy it.
Yeah, they can afford $50.
Yeah, I created last year because I was just like, oh, I love trivia cards. It's very nerdy, but I
Mhm.
like stuff like that.
Talked about pricing for the card deck and the release for the card decks. Any other questions that you would have on that line item? Okay, so moving down the list, line item, the body celestial,
Yeah,
and the action is pitch as a mini talk or keynote to university science programs, STEM festivals, and DEI offices. 6 to 12 month booking lead time. And your target is 2 to 3 conversations book. Tell me about the body celestial.
that's the commission that I had last June from
Mhm.
NASA and the Department of Cultural Affairs. And basically, I didn't even think about it, but I was like, I can sell that as one of the, because they were, look, my co-writers, how can I say it? They were not co-writers, they were consultants on it. And I will give them credit, but it's all the MDs at NASA. And I'm like,
Mhm.
this shit need us. But I'm like, this is a product. Like this is big time, right? And I was
Mhm.
like, people can benefit from it because basically I use myself as the body as a black woman, and then we're connected to the cosmos. And the data
Mhm.
is accurate because it's the people that study the cosmos. And so I was just like, I think schools would love to see the performance. And I told myself, I'm at the point now, it may not even be me cast as I cast myself. I could cast another
Mhm.
actress. But
Mhm.
I was just like, I would love to pitch it. I have references from NASA and Department of Cultural Affairs that so it's kind of like I think I felt like I needed to add this as an offering because I was like
Mhm.
to offset the panels because sometimes people are like,
Yes.
well, that's a little too technical. Do you have something more creative? And then I could be like, yes, I have the body celestial.
Okay.
Hmm.
And give some thought to pre-med, high school, uh, medical programs. Not making this about me, but I went to a specialized high school that
Yeah.
focused on medicine careers, medical careers rather. So that audience would like that type of stuff. And I'm sure my high school wasn't the only high school isn't the only high school in the United States that has that type of career tracking.
School.
And next question for you is there a sort of curriculum attached to the play?
I haven't done that. That's a good idea.
Mm.
I have not
Mhm.
done that because the only
That could
thing
be
I
turned
have
into a
now,
lesson.
yeah, I mean, I could see like a workbook attached to it. It is a short play, and so I'm pretty flexible with how I flesh it out. So, because I know
Okay.
at the where it was performed, it was a half and half audience. It was students from like some academy, like I forget what their school was. I think it was math and science, and then the other half were scientists.
Now I'm looking at this line item. I don't see a dollar amount or a range attached to it. Do you have an idea of what you would charge?
I still gotta do research on that because I was like, I'm like, when I was paid for the money from Wake Forest before, that was a like for 45 minutes play, right? This play is literally like 15 minutes. And
Mm.
so maybe it is if I extend it with the Q&A or, it's something I might have to add to it. And then I think I will have a better range of like how much I would charge.
So that's homework for you,
Yeah.
researching how much that line item or that offer would cost.
Yes.
Then you have this last, wouldn't call this a line item, but more going back to that trigger point that we talked about a little bit earlier. After third panel booking, raise facilitation rates
Yeah.
to 5,000. After fifth, raise to 7,500. And we've talked about the reasoning behind that. And you
Hmm.
feel comfortable with 7,500?
Yeah.
And I just want to make note that this is for quarter two, not for the rest of global culture's existence.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Make
this
sure.
is just for Q2 because what I found is like when I go into some place and I'm like with a set amount, and then if they offer more or less, depending on how the negotiations work or whatever, it's kind of like that's when I can reference that point, like whatever I, get and go, okay, well, this is what I made, this is what I'm doing moving forward. Like we're not going
Mm,
backwards. So
got
I'm
it.
kind of
Okay.
flexible.
And you seem pretty confident in how you move forward with that. Okay. Next thing that you asked for support on is outreach guidance. And you have a specific approach for the first five outreach contacts: opening, follow-up, cadence, and fee conversation. Now, you've pitched people before,
Mm-hmm.
and you've gotten people to pay you money before for this. So tell me about needing guidance.
Cause like I kind of feel like the way my practice has been is kind of like guerrilla style. Like I literally will pull people's names and be like one by one, hey, whatever, and attach a one sheet, right? But I'm like, it might be another way better. I'm not,
Mhm.
so
Mhm. So we're
mhm.
in experimentation time because your way has worked for you.
Yeah, it has. I haven't been consistent though because I'll
Mhm.
do it and then it's like I'll go to a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like I have other obligations. And so it's been like up, down, up, down. But when I've been
Mhm.
consistent, it does work. And what I've learned, I was just talking to a friend about it. I'm learning that some people that you think will help you might not help, and the people you think won't help you will help you. Because when I was pitching the project on Black Womanology, I thought Black colleges would help me. Unfortunately, they said they weren't interested when I did it that time, but it was the other two other schools that hired me. And so I was like, this is interesting. So I'm learning like pitch everybody because you don't know who's going to say yes. You don't know how they're going to relate to the subject matter.
How about this? You keep your way, but add structure around it because your way is working. I wouldn't necessarily start messing around with the guerrilla style method, but because you haven't been consistent, because that was your life at that time, but now you're devoting your day to day to global culture,
Mm-hmm.
then that's sitting down. Okay, who are the five? And you may want to think about expanding that number by five,
Yeah.
and by five, and by five, right? To get you
Mm-hmm.
up to 25, perhaps.
Yep.
Uh, and okay, this five, this couple of days, this five, this couple of days. So that's the whole week. You go into week two, you go into 15, 20, 25. You don't have to use my numbers, but if you are pitching everybody, you know that that is the okay, that's one of my do outs for today or for the week because what I do works. It's just there's been no need for it to be consistent. And
True.
now it has to be consistent.
Yep.
How does a quasi-structured approach to your style feel?
Yeah. That
Mhm.
works. Yeah. Structured and also consistency. Because, like I said, every time I aim, I normally hit the target. Like I get it, but it has not been consistent. Like when I did the sales or pitching for Black Womanology, I had a list of 50 schools
Mhm.
and I did all 50, but no follow up. But the ones that I followed up with, those are the ones I booked. So I'm like,
Okay.
consistency. And so I have to be a stickler with that. So that's where the structure comes in at. Hmm.
Okay. So you make your initial call
Yep.
or email or however you do it. And then the lead time between following up is what typically?
Normally, I follow up within like a week.
Okay.
And what I learned last time too is people will tell me like, "Hey, our budget is cut off is this date. I have to make a decision by this date. Can you call me back on this date?" So I need to be organized because I'm not very organized, and I need to put it in my calendar and everything because there's so many different deadlines for money and writing out checks for people. So if I could get myself structured and organized, I know that I could do this.
Let's talk about the organization
Mhm.
because and once again, this is a muscle that you're developing that
Yep.
you haven't had to.
Mhm.
And now not only do you have to, you want to.
Yep.
Take me through a day where all of this structure is working out. What does
hmm
that look like?
So what, like how I normally would pitch?
This is Dream Masha's world,
Oh,
where
in my
everything
dream
is working the
situation.
way out how it's supposed to work. Yes.
If it was up to me and if everything worked out as it should, I would have systems for everything. I would have
Mm.
SOPs for everything so I can bring in people to assist on a contract basis as I need it. I do believe that I need to go through it all myself in order to write the processes or whatever. So as long as, look, in my dream world, all of that's already done. And basically it's like I will have the panels ongoing and like just to keep in mind with the panels, I don't always have to be the moderator. Like I can hire somebody that look, somebody might be moderating a panel in Utah, or Atlanta, whatever. But it's like I need them to have like some standard procedure. So it's like, here's what you do. So in my dream day, it's like I will have the panels happening. I will have the trivia cards maybe in stores. I would prefer bookstores like medical bookstores. And then the play performing in local. I love like regional theater. So I would love it
Mhm.
in regional or high schools or colleges. And all of those would be kind of operating and running. My ideal situation is like, at least for the first year, I will be involved like on an everyday basis to get it up and running. But then after that, it's running and employees are hired to help make it happen.
All right, so now we're into execution, like I said at the beginning. You pointed out what you need to do, and we all know that's not going to happen in a week. Putting together your systems, your standard operating procedures. So you have to do that in order to make that dream life work the way
Yep.
you want to work. And you're not doing all the work. You can hire people. But right now, so
Yep.
we're talking two sides of the of the street. Right now, contingency operations. I think that's
Yes.
the best way to put it.
Yep.
How are you going to go about doing this in the next couple of months and
I
staying
will
organized?
Google Drive for right
Okay.
now. That's what I
Mhm.
have, and what I haven't put it in procedure form, but I've been making notes on everything that I've done. But I do need to
Mhm.
take. I need to look forward to see if I can create like I guess a solo retreat with myself and just make
Mhm.
sure I can just make them into procedures and yeah, do that and just make sure like I'm beta testing everything in the beginning, so I'm like the moderator, panel producer, like trivia card maker, and the performer with the body celestial. And I need to designate a month as my retreat month where it's like do the, review what's happened, like make sure I have my folder organized with all my SOPs. And I would
Mhm.
like that to happen by September 30th.
Put a date on this.
Well, I
Okay,
was
you
just
gave
thinking like
yourself a
in
deadline.
quarters, like the end of third quarter. So then
Mhm.
like headed into 2027, it could be like, okay, let's bring in, if I want to bring in some other people, but I think I will because I think I want to work with people, like teamwork.
Your first five, do you have names, organizations in mind?
For which one?
You said for the outreach guidance, first five outreach contacts. And
I
so
only
this is
have
a line item by itself. So I don't know if that's for panels or if that's for the play or if that's for cards, getting the
it's
card
probably
deck.
it's probably for the panel.
Okay.
I just have that one contact at Duke. I have my
Mhm.
aunt at Winston-Salem State, and then I would have to get three more contacts. So,
Okay.
mhm.
Is the obtaining three more contacts in your research doable by the end of this week?
Yeah.
Have another piece of homework you got to take
Mhm.
care of. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. You're on your way, Masha. This is
Mhm.
amazing. It
Mhm.
is. And if you even think about the beginning of this coaching session,
I know.
everything's starting to come together. All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think the exercise is like, how do you see this working out? That's really good. And
Mhm.
then it's like, okay, let's reverse engineer that.
The last line item you have for is warm introductions. Introductions to conference directors, event producers, or media contacts relevant to Narrate MD. My question to you is, who do you know in this realm?
I know a lot of people and I need to make the list because it's like, I have, especially in the sciences, I have like a lot of contacts in entertainment. Not so much, but they may be flexible because now people are kind of scrambling to attach themselves to another industry and Hollywood, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
Hollywood wants to be more hybrid.
So you have to make your list. What's the timeline on creating the outreach list?
I would say for that one, I could probably do that the same because like with the contacts in regard, the five contacts, that's going to be pretty easy. And then just taking time to write out everybody I know that I could work with, I think that'll be fairly easy too.
Overall, when it comes to working solo, how good would you say you are at self-management and self-leadership?
I don't think I'm good. Like I
Okay.
know, like yeah, I'm very good at like how can I say it? Getting it done and like the overall vision. But like I need an app or something to keep me in control. I will tell you today, I use Claude's co-working, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it did all this work for me and I'm like, oh crap. So maybe I don't know if I would use Claude or if I use another time management like app, but I need
Hmm.
something to organize this because I'm really good at like apps, but like I'm like I need a something to follow, like a procedure checklist or something like that.
I'm going to make a recommendation, kind
Okay.
of like going a little bit out of the
Yeah.
coaching into the more the advisory role. Consider getting involved with a business group that has an accountability component to it.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Here where I live, Metro Atlanta area, I'm part of a women's business collective.
Okay.
And I don't take advantage of this feature of it, but they have accountability groups where they set you up with another person, and that person's holding you accountable to what you said you were going to do, and you're doing the same for them. It's
Okay.
easier when it's coming from the outside than
No, I
coming in.
get you. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's something to consider in order to help you keep yourself accountable, and it's also networking.
I need that.
So we have really covered everything you wanted to cover. Is anything else coming to mind about this portion of getting Narrate MD going?
No, I do need a list of my assignments though. I gotta do the five contacts for the panels.
Hmm.
I gotta
Yes.
comb through the list of people I know. And then I
Hmm.
think it was like I feel like it was two other things. So I just
The panel, and so yeah, that five list connected to the panel that we talked about earlier. You have your attend your conference and media folks. You have to. This recording also has a transcript attached to it, so we can go look back and find that
That's
out.
what I want. I want that because like it doesn't take me a long time to kind of if I have focused time. And so I'm like, I
Mhm.
really want to get this stuff done. So
Okay. All right. With that being said, if you don't have anything else you want coaching on, then we're going to close out today's session. Thank you so much, Masha,
you're welcome.
for sharing this information with me, trusting me with it, trusting whoever's going to see it with it, and I believe it's going to be great value not only to your organization, but to many others organizations and people trying to
Mhm.
get their dreams off the ground. So I appreciate you so much.